Hey everyone, it's Angel. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Holochrome Pigments and the Iridescent Holo Flakes from Twinkle Tea. These were sent to me for review and I got to try them out before anybody else. And they should be available for purchase by the time my video goes live, so everything will be linked down below. So the Holochrome Pigments, they combine holo pigment powder and mirror chrome pigment, so it's like the best of both worlds. There you get holo and mirror chrome pigment. And then the iridescent holo flakes, I've never used anything like this before, so I was so excited for these. They combine like iridescent unicorn mermaidy flakes with holo flakes, so again, the best of both worlds. I think you guys are going to flip for these, so I'm going to start with the flakes first. For my base coat, I'm using 100% liquid latex. I mentioned this a few videos ago that when I do a lot of swatching, I'll use this because it makes mani super easy to remove. And some of you guys were interested in how a mani would remove when you use this. So at the very end of the video, I will show a little bit of peel porn if you desire that. I decided to start with my favorite of the flakies. This is Starstruck, and this one, the iridescent flakes have sort of a pink undertone to them and then combine with the holo. Wait till you guys see this. For my base color, I went with OPI Bubble Bath, and this is just sort of a beigey pink sheer polish, and you could use these flakes over any polish color, like a matching polish color that would match the undertone, or even over black. I will show you guys these over black towards the end when I have swatched them all, but I just wanted it to, I don't know, it gives it more of like a fairy look when it's swatched over a sheer color. And then for the next step, we're going to apply another coat of polish, but we're going to apply the flakies with this fan brush, so you're just going to be able to dip it in there and pick them all up. I applied another coat of OPI Bubble Bath, and then when the polish is still wet, so you kind of got to be quick, I pulled over a little piece of paper to catch the extra flakies and then dipped my fan brush into the flaky jar, and you just completely cover the nail. You want to get a lot on there if you're going for full coverage. I mean, don't be shy. Once I had the full nail covered, I just kind of tapped on the flakes with the fan brush because the polish is still wet here, so you don't want to tap too hard. And then after it had dried for just a couple of seconds, I just used my finger to further tap them down. You want to make sure that they are as attached as you can get them. And then you can grab your fan brush again, and you want to brush sort of the nail where the nail bed meets the skin and get all the loose flakes off, and this way you're going to kind of break some of them that are sticking to the polish and they're just kind of halfway hanging off the nail. So at this point it's been drying for a little while, so I wasn't too worried about scraping off the flakes and revealing the base coat. Just, you know, make sure you're getting those loose flakes off. And then I got the little pot out of the way because it was really cramping my style, and I brushed off some more of the loose flakes with my fan brush. And the reason why I have the little piece of paper under here is because then I could just funnel them back into the jar. But even though I have that little piece of paper under there, you can see how messy my fingers are getting. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind looking like this unicorn fairy, but these flakies, they get everywhere. And then for my top coat, I went with a gel top coat. Now, you absolutely do not have to use gel top coat for this. You can just use a regular polish, but I find when I use a regular polish over flakies, I need to use like at least 2 coats in order for it to get smooth. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit rough, and I find that the gel polish just is smoother with 1 coat. So I applied the gel top coat, and then I cured for 60 seconds. And here they are all finished. Oh my goodness. Now I'm sure you guys can see why this one is my favorite. That pink undertone is just so cool. I love how they flash pink, and then when the nails are next to each other, they kind of flash a little bit greenish gold. Oh man, these flakies. These, if you're going to get one of these, this is the one to get. They're so pretty. Next up is Starlight, and this one has sort of a green aqua undertone to it. And aren't these little jar labels so cute? I love the little star font on there and the little stars, so cute. And here is the first coat of OPI Bubble Bath, which this is like a huge cult favorite OPI polish. And don't get me wrong, I like it, but people kind of go nuts for this one. And then I applied my second coat, and you gotta be quick again. So before it dries, you wanna grab your fan brush and just dig into those flakies. Isn't this so satisfying to watch? And since we're going for full coverage, don't be shy with those. Just get them all up in there. Now, you don't have to apply this much if you didn't want to, but I'm kind of a go big or go home kind of gal. And then I tapped to make sure the flakes were attached to my nail. And then once again, grabbed my handy dandy fan brush and went to town on those crevices, aka the cuticle and skin area, and just use it to get them off. Wow, I'm struggling for words. I'm doing this voiceover way too late at night and I have lost words. And I found if I tapped them down and sort of rubbed the surface of the nail very, very gently, like right before I applied top coat, that seemed to help it make it a little bit smoother. It really kind of caught those little jagged pieces that were sticking up and kind of made them more flush to the nail. And then I applied my gel top coat again and cured for 60 seconds. Don't worry, I will show you what the flakes look like on swatch sticks with just a regular polished top coat, so you'll be able to compare them, and the difference is so minimal. So here's the finished mani, and that greenish minty aqua, I don't really know what it is. There's so much going on here, so it's hard to focus on something. I thought that green color looked so cool, and I would love to see this with some neon green stamping layered over it. That would look awesome. And we're already at the last of the flakies. This is Stargaze, and Stargaze has an icy lilac undertone to it. So I forgot to film the first layer of OPI bubble bath, but who cares because this is boring. So here is the second coat, and I grabbed my trusty, is it handy dandy, remember from Blue's Clues, is it handy dandy notebook? Well, I grabbed my handy dandy fan brush and sprinkled them all over the nail. Now, I don't know what happened with this one. I don't think I put on as much as I did of the other colors, because this one I found that the flakes, they almost look a little yellow tone on my nail. Like you can kind of see it peeking through there. And I think that was just my fault, because you can see on certain parts it's sort of that lilac blue shift that it's got going on. And then you see a little bit of yellow peeking through. So my bad. And then I tap to make sure the flakies were attached to the wet polish, and then brushed off all the excess out of my cuticles. Begone, flakes. Isn't this so distracting? Like, oh my goodness, like I'm sitting here, I've been editing this video and doing this voiceover, and I'm just like catching myself staring at the screen. And then I applied my gel top coat and cured for 60 seconds. Why am I talking so slow? So here is the finished Starlight mani, and I don't know, it's kind of funny. When I'm looking at the video footage, I see more of the yellow flash kind of there, but then when I look at my photos, it doesn't show as much. So I don't know, maybe it was my lights that was doing that. Either way, this is still really cool, and I would love to see these layered over a pale purple. I think that would really help bring out the purpley blue color. So here are the flakes layered over a black polish, and I just sort of sprinkled them lightly. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what they looked like when you're not, going full coverage like I was. And then also I was curious how they looked matte. I mean, it kind of loses the hollow effect, but they still look kind of cool like that. And then, oh my goodness, look at this. These are the flakes, like heavily applied over a black base. I don't know. I can't decide if I like how I did them or with the black. I don't know. You be the judge. And for those of you that want to use these with regular polished top coat, can you guess which one's gel and which one's regular polish? The one on the right is with gel top coat, and the one on the left is just with regular polished top coat. And as you can see, the one on the right looks a little bit more green, and I think that's because the gel doesn't warp the iridescent flakes as much as regular polish does. But I don't really think it's a big deal. So if you want to use these with regular polish, do it. And now we have a little bit of a bonus mani. I was painting my nails just a regular plain ass cream color, and then I saw this little piece of paper that had the little extra bits on it, and I was like, I wonder if this would stick to dried regular top coats. So I had my base color on and my top coat, and it had dried for probably about 15 to 20 minutes at this point, and then I was just able to press them onto my nail. Now I think it's because the top coat was fresh, that's why it would stick to it. But this was so ridiculously easy and quick, so if you wanted to get these and you're like, I don't want to do what she just did, you can do this. Anybody could do this. This is instant nail art. So once I pressed them all onto the dried top coat, then I applied another layer of top coat, and that was it. Quickest fake nail art ever. And if you're wondering what nail color I'm wearing, this is Floss Gloss Lip Liner, just kind of a mauvey, dusty pink. And I took these photos and video after I'd been wearing this all day, so there's like lotion all over the surface of the nail. Sorry. And now we're moving on to the Holo Chrome pigment powders, and unlike the last ones, these have to be used with gel polish. I am so sorry, there's really not a way around it. So for my base color, I went with a black gel. Now you could use a corresponding color that would match the powder, but I just think that these look the best over black because, I don't know, I want to feel like a vampire. That makes absolutely no sense. So I applied my first coat, and then I cured for 60 seconds, and then I did a second coat and cured for another 60 seconds. I also swatched these over the liquid latex base, and I will show you how these remove at the end. First up is Twinkle Twinkle, and I would call this a sapphire holo chrome because I'm fancy like that. So taking a makeup wedge sponge, you pick up a little bit of the pigment, and then I tapped it onto the cured gel polish. Now, I did find that I had to apply these a little bit differently than other pigments that I've used in the past. These seem to work best when I just sort of tap on the powder at first and sort of get the nail completely covered, and then once it's really on there, I like to buff it in and just go to town on it, you know, just go to town on it. For my second layer, I like to use a silicone applicator tool, and I pick up a little bit more of the pigment powder. And here's a little trick that I recently learned. If you look at, did you see it? My nail sort of changed colors. If I breathe onto the nail, it kind of gives it a little moisture, sticky surface, and then the powder sticks to it, and then you can buff it in. I don't know why that works. I don't even know if that's a good thing to do, but I do it and it works for me. So I buffed it in, and then once I had complete coverage and I was satisfied with it, I take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and brush off all of the excess powder. And then I applied my gel top coat, and I found that once you put that gel top coat on, it really brings out the chrome color. Like, it went from this is cool to hey, hello sapphire blue, and then I cured for 60 seconds. So here is Twinkle Twinkle in all its glory, and I love the combination of this jewel tone blue with the holo. It's just so perfect for winter. This is just like, this is how I feel in the winter. I feel like a holo sapphire vampire. Yep. Next up is Twilight, which is a holo green chrome, and this one I was so surprised is actually my favorite out of the four. So I'm just going to skip the base gel polish application and just show you how this applies. So I picked up a little bit of my powder and then tapped it onto the nail again, and yeah, you know, remember how I gave you the little tip of breathing on the nail to get the powder to stick? I don't know why, but that just worked, and it worked for these ones as well, because normally I find the powders you can just kind of swipe them on, but this one, the tapping definitely helped. And then once I had it all applied, I buffed it in. The only thing I could think of, if you're breathing on your nail, that it's probably not good to get moisture in between your layers of gel polish, but it evaporates, so I don't really think it's leaving like actual moisture on the surface of your nail. I just want to get that out there as a disclaimer. Like, I'm not I don't know. I want you guys to be safe, but I don't think that it's really putting moisture on your nail. So then once I had all the excess brushed off, I could go back in with my gel top coat, and I forgot to film that part. So yeah, we're just gonna move on. And here is Twilight. Do you guys see why this one is my favorite? I love green polish, but I'm never like, oh, I like need green polish in my life. But this one, she's perfect, and I recommend it. If you only get one of these, this is the one to get. After I was finished swatching this one, we had about 6 minutes of sun, which is just insane here in January in Buffalo. And so I was able to show you guys what this one looks like in direct sun. And my cat, not impressed. Next up is Supernova, a purple hollow chrome. And let's call this one mulberry because, holy crap, I thought of a descriptive word. I don't even really know if this would actually be mulberry in color, but you know, let's just use it. You know, as a polished channel that is, you know, dedicated to different describing colors, you'd think that my vocabulary would be bigger when it comes to colors. So this one applied just like the other ones. I tapped it on and then rubbed it in, and then I was able to use my little silicone applicator tool to buff on that second layer. And if you guys have watched any of my gel pigment powder videos before, you guys know I'm all about that second layer to bring out that lustery finish. And then I brushed off all the excess. Here is Supernova All Complete, aka Mulberry. Yep, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call it that. And this one is my second favorite out of the 4. I love purple, so that's not really a surprise. But what is a surprise is that the green is my favorite. I'm still in shock. And last up is Little Star, and this one is sort of a slaty blue, like a steel blue. It's not sapphire like the first one was. This one just has sort of a blue tint to it. Also kind of looks a little bit gray. Is that descriptive enough? This one applied just like the previous 3. I patted it on, rubbed it in, and then burnished it in with my silicone tool. Whenever I'm doing the voiceover for videos like this where I'm doing the same thing over and over again, so I'm saying the same thing over and over again, I'm just like, does that like drive you nuts? Or are you just like, oh, okay, she's got to say the same thing over and over again? I always wonder that, like, do I sound insane? I mean, I am, but you know. These are just things I think about. And it looks like I forgot to film the gel top coat application for this one as well. What a shocker. Here is Little Star All Complete, and the more I look at this one, the more I like this color. Like, I like that I don't know what color it is. Is it blue? Is it gray? Is it slate? Is it all of those things? Blue steel. And this is for those of you that were curious how my manis remove when I use the liquid latex as a base coat. And it removes so easy, quickly, easy, clean. I think I said easy like 16 times, but I prefer using this when I'm doing a lot of swatching over Oont peel off base coat because Oont does tend to peel up my nails if I use it too many times too close to each other. And that completes my swatchathon of the new Twinkle T Hollow Chrome Pigments and the Iridescent Hollow Flaky Magical Dust. I don't even know what those are. Like, they're straight up magic on your nails. And like I mentioned before, my favorite out of the flakies is the Starstruck color because that pink undertone is perfect. Like, it completes my life. And then my favorite of the hollow chromes is Twilight, the green. I am shocked, but it was so rich in person. I love that one. And if you are not sick of me and my long ass videos that I seem to be making lately, you can also follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at twi_star. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.